Testing 1, 2, 3. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me okay? Testing 1, 2, 3. Alrighty. So we got Jill Moser, Miss Dog Lover, Jody Lynn. James, what up? Adrian. Hey, yo, Adrian. Miss Dog Lover says yes. I appreciate the input. Timmy, does it sound better than it did earlier? Blue Line 1991, welcome in. Justice Jane, welcome in. Cheeks, what up? Hey, Sassy, been a minute. You guys like the new setup? Okay, my volume is a bit low. How about now? Is that better? Thanks, Jill. Yeah, it kind of feels like a little man cave. See, see a little better. Say we're about 75% completed. Blind Squirrel, what up? Thank you, Sassy. So we're going to go live today and talk about Abby and Libby's case. The phone lines are open. It's an open panel. Every once in a while, I like to give everybody an opportunity to jump on here and say something to me directly. I don't always agree with people, and we're very opinionated on this channel. And for some reason, people always have to talk about what we got going on over here. We don't bother anybody. But here's an opportunity. If you have a question for me, you don't want to sit around in the chat. You don't want to wait for me to read your comment. Speak now, forever hold your peace. Either way, we'll hang out in the chat, have a quick discussion. I'm always surprised by who calls in. You never really know. Jill. That's funny. Some feedback, huh? How about now? Still got the feedback? Sees through. What up? Timmy, thank you. That would be funny. Put some dummies in the background. Put them in some Sleuth Crew merch. That'd be hilarious. Sounds like a mic boost or gain adjustment of some kind, but we can hear you fine. Hmm. You think it needs to go up or down? Is that better? That's like the overall input. What's going on, Boston? Vegas, what's up? Yep, thank you, Vegas. This is the new Sleuth Crew Den. And if you can see, I have the microphones set up. They're not wired in yet, but I have two microphones set up right over here. And then um, when we have guests in studio, we'll have the lights on. I'm thinking about putting a lamp maybe in that back corner. What's up, Christine? Sounds like a setting is off. How about that? How about that? Did that help? That's the phantom power. Sounds a little clipped. Sees through says, Sleuth, did you see the pics of Libby's phone? No, I didn't. Turbo's pics shared on Libby's phone. Can somebody send that to me? Where is it? Is it on like Turbo's X feed or something? Oh, okay. I see it. Wow. Where the hell did she get that at? It looks more like moisture, like it's damp, not completely soaked. Here, let me go ahead and screenshot this, and then I'll share it with you guys. It's the first time I've ever seen it. Oh, yeah, debris and water. Look, you can see mud on the side. I hate to say it, guys, but we were right. Sometimes we get it right, huh? Thank you, Mustang. So this is States Exhibit 9. Very interesting. Thanks, Turbo. Yeah, look how dirty it is right here. It's muddy. You get just a little bit of that into that port, maybe one of these little pieces of these little sticks right here. The fence likes to call them horns, but I don't know. They're definitely not horns. Very interesting. And that kind of looks more like condensation, like the morning dew. See the little droplets? Welcome in, Shelly. Sees through. Cheek says no, sounds the same. Maybe the input is on a webcam or not on your microphone. Check to make sure it is the correct microphone. How about that? Let me know if that made any difference. It's a work in progress. Thank you, Cheeks, by the way, for the input. Oh, thanks, Sees through. That makes sense. We're always right because we live in a world based in fact. I mean, just look at this. Look, all the dirt and debris. You have a bunch of mud kind of caked on the side here. And all it would take is one of these little pieces of debris here to find its way into the phone jack. And boom, it registers. But what I think really happened with some of the, whatever this moisture is right here, I think that's what we're dealing with because it's kind of on a timer. And that timer seems to coincide with the temperature change, right? It goes into the night, gets really cold, and starts to get warmer, in the morning time when the sun comes up. And anybody that's out there, if you're interested in calling into the show, I pinned the link. All you got to do is click that link, and it'll bring you right back here in the back of the studio here with me. Otherwise, we'll just hang out in the chat. That sweet morning dew. It's Mary J. I wonder if Libby's phone was returned to Becky Patty. Can't remember. There was some kind of a debacle about the phone. Timmy says that sounds better. It's fine for now. You can troubleshoot it later. We can hear you. Timmy says it sounds a little better. Blind Squirrel, what is the cable? Which cable? Are you saying you see a cable? Or are you asking me about the equipment? Chief says, think about it logically. If Abby was on the phone and it's cold and her body is warm, then it's going to create condensation. Yeah, that's true. And it might take about 5 hours, for her body temperature to lower, and then for that dude to maybe it'll just stay trapped, kind of like a greenhouse effect. Maybe that's what happened. This was kind of I don't maybe under was it underneath her back? That would make more sense. Trap that moisture. Shane says, sounds grand to me. Thank you, Shane. Everything seems to be working fine. I figured out that glitch, that echoing from earlier. So I'm not supposed to share. When I share my screen on StreamYard, I need to refrain from activating the audio. The audio would just naturally come through this mixer that I have. Welcome in, none of your business. I don't know what the debate is about. I've literally had this happen to my iPhone 6 back in the day. I've personally seen it happen, moisture in the headphone jack, making it think I had headphones. I think everybody's had something like that happen. So for an expert to sit up on the stand and say, "Oh, well, I don't believe that that's what happened," that doesn't make sense to me. That's not likely. To me, that was disingenuous. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where the phone is at this point in time, James. Lower right corner. Are you talking about this? Or like something like this? I'm not seeing a cord. Misbehave, what's up? Says behind Abby's leg. Okay, so then it was Abby's leg trapping in this moisture right here. We got Denmark Andy calling in. You guys want to remember he called in the other day? What's
I
up,
don't
Denmark?
remember. Hello. How are you?
What's up? Good. How are
What's
you?
up? You're watching about the forest.
Huh?
What are you watching?
Same thing you are.
Video. No, you're watching a video
It's
about the forest or something.
no. This is a photograph.
Oh, okay, okay. So what is it? It looks when I'm on, mushrooms. Make it.
That fucking guy. Not today. Not today. Leaf stem. Whoops. Let's change that up. Print. Jeanette. Jody Lynn. Who dat? Who's that guy? Never seen him in chats. Nah, he came on the other day. He says he trolls around looking for open panels. Snow? I don't know if there was any snow. I think there was snow on the 11th or the 12th, and it was melting. He's like, "What are you watching?" Welcome in, Betsy Ross. Who else did I miss? Trial Junkie. Ariel. See database reflecting that? No, I did not. Nope. But I heard them testify about it in the court. Well, I didn't hear them. I read about it. What's up, badass? Wheezing the Jews? Good to see you. Hey, Anna. That's what I said when this subject first came up. Moist ground, slimy leaves, warm body, warmish day, water vapor is the answer. There you go. Water vapor. Water vapor, and I think how the phone was kind of trapped. It's a combination. Jody Lynn. We got about 1.5 feet of snow in Lafayette, Louisiana. Talk about shutting a town down. Yeah, did you see Florida last week? Jeez. They were like walking around like zombies, like, what is this white shit? They're like, it's the apocalypse. Hey, Cindy Lean coming through with the super chat, sponsoring today's live stream, setting the tone. Thank you. Thank you, Cindy. Appreciate you. We survive on super chats and the generosity. And whoever wants to help the Sleuth Intuition channel grow. Would water vapor show up on the phone data report? If it got inside of the phone, it would have triggered these little stickers that are in there. They're basically sensors. They tell the technician if the phone has water damage or if water made its way inside of the device. But what I'm seeing right here is not proof or an indication that it got inside the device or that it even was submerged at any point. I think it likely was, but I'm assuming that these phones are somewhat water resistant to some extent, right? But I truly believe that it does not we don't need it to show water damage inside the phone for what we're seeing right here in this photographic evidence to cause the phone jack to trigger, making the phone think that something's plugged in. We had a slush storm or something a couple nights ago. Yuck. Slicker than black ice. Scrape it off the walkways and it builds up again in an hour. Fortunately, rain washed it away. Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun. Shane says this photo in a way means nothing. The false reading was about 12 hours before. Well, I think it tells us a lot because these type of small water droplets, this is caused by vapor, in my opinion. Now, how do you have vapor here? Well, you would have vapor caused by the heat from a body and then being trapped, probably by the cold air at that point. It's like a greenhouse effect. And I don't know about you guys, but this looks like some kind of a drag mark. That looks like probably where the knee or the leg foot was. Maybe the knee. Mr. Beer. Hey everyone, good to see you. Sorry, is this the actual photo of Libby's phone? Yes. That is my understanding. What's up, Cindy? And guys, this is an open panel. So if at any point you've been hanging out on the Sleuth Intuition channel thinking, damn, I wish I could call in. Well, here's your chance. I'm always curious if we'll have anybody interesting other than your local troll from Poland. I think that's what it said, from Poland. Yep, that's what I'm thinking too, Betsy. Trial Junkie says, well, yeah, you don't instantly become frozen, it takes a while. Shit, even the sun at one point might even cause that. Yeah. See, Betsy, we're on the same page. In slimy soaked leaf litter like that toward the end of winter, there's always lots of little bugs. Oh yeah, it could have been a bug, like a little beetle, huh? Do bugs use headphones? No, but sometimes they disguise themselves as headphones. Yeah, that's a good thought. A little beetle crawling right into that little hole. What up, Charles? Pat, you're always welcome to call. Anybody is. It's only fair. Oh, here we go. Yeah, this is very new. This is the first time I'm seeing. I think this was part of Nick McClelland's response to the recent filing by Richard Allen's previous defense team. Yeah, give or take trial. But I would say yeah, maybe even quicker. Cindy's asking, so was the phone in her shoes or under it? It's my understanding it was under her leg. Let's welcome on Charles. What's up, Charles?
Hopefully this works.
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear.
I can't. What's up, Patrick?
What's
How you doing, my
up?
brother?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I have no idea what the show is going on about. In the chat
This.
and saw it was an open panel, so I thought I'd call in.
Yep, this is all we're talking about. Libby's phone.
I can't hear nothing.
You can't hear me? Can you hear me now, Charles?
That's weird. What can I do?
Hello,
Hold
can you
on,
hear me?
wait. Now I hear something.
Can you hear me?
You there?
Yeah, can you hear me? Hello.
Refreshing. Yeah, I'm gonna try refreshing real quick. I hate this
Okay.
junk.
I don't know if it's me or if it's him.
So,
Could you guys hear him? Could you hear Charles at all? Yeah, let me know if you guys were able to hear Charles because I could hear him fine. Okay, thank you, Janet and Cindy. Appreciate that. So I think it might have been on his end. I'm not sure. Thank you, Cindy. What's up, Yvonne? Boston. Thank you, Jill. Sees through says Charles sounded bad to me. It could have been his connection, maybe, because when he first came on, it wasn't. It didn't appear to be a very good connection. What is up, Frank? Thank you, Boston. Misbehave all the way to Norway. Frank says his connection is on and off. He was coming in loud and clear to me, but when he originally joined, it was kind of like it wasn't showing his avatar. That's usually an indication of a bad connection. Yeah, and I think depending on your environment trial, it may increase or decrease. I would, I'm assuming closer to like 45 minutes. It would take a body to completely cool to whatever the temperature is surrounding in this in those surroundings. Vegas, what's the phone number to call in, Sleuth? I don't have the phone set up just yet. But if you want to join the panel, there's a link right there in the chat. I pinned it to the top. Just hit that link and call in. Did you already go over Nick's response? I can replay if so. No, Mr. Beer, we haven't. Haven't talked about that yet. I think everybody's kind of seen that. So I'm not too worried. Frank says, "Mind me coming? Anybody can come on. The panel is open, but don't get upset if the chat starts coming at you and calling you out. But yeah, anybody's welcome to call in. Speak now or forever hold your peace." I just can tell with the comments like unseasonably warm remarks that there's some trolling. What do you mean, Lola? What do you mean by that? Cindy says, Frank, as in crazy Looney Tunes Frank, that lost his channel for showing crime pics. You sure you want to call in? Here he is. What's up, Frank?
What's up, my man?
So you can hear me fine.
Yeah, I can.
Okay, I don't know what's going on for Charles. What do you have to say, Frank, about Cindy's comment there?
Oh, hold on. I know who Cindy is. Cindy is pissed because I showed the crime scene pics. That's fine. I have a reasonable explanation for that. Because I wasn't the only one. And if people paid attention, then I wasn't the only one. See, wouldn't say that, what I did was good and what it was bad. And I showed my version of it because I didn't want to sugarcoat it. See, I don't cover butterflies. I cover true crime. I advocate for families. And you know what? I still have contact with Becky Patty. And people bitch about me showing it to her.
What
Because
about this comment here? It says, and also went after Sleuth.
that is
it
true. I think on one instance that I did.
So what do you have to say about that?
You know what? I do apologize for that. At that moment, because it's a wild, and still the truth is not out there. And you know what? It is too long to explain. And you were part of a community that at that moment were distributing those images, and I wasn't sure if you had them or not. And you fell part of that because you were covering it, so you were on the list. And I have to say, I don't know if you had them or not. And if you did not have them at the time of distributing, then I do sincerely apologize.
Did you have them?
No, I got them in January last year.
No, I mean at the time that you were wondering if I had them, did you in fact have them in your possession?
Nope. Because people think that they were not distributed by intention, and they were 100%. There's not a single doubt about that.
So what's on your mind?
Well, that's why I did not came. That's why I'm not wanting to come on. Obviously, I saw this image, but what is the point of the rebuttal? I'm not understanding.
I think it's the phone
exactly.
jack. I think the phone jack discussion and how the people that support Richard Allen, they find that as evidence that somebody actually came back to the crime scene and plugged, something into the phone. Welcome on, Charles. Can you hear me now?
He is having internet issues. Last time that I was having on, he tried to reset a modem. And
all right, reset the modem and stuff. I'm hoping that doesn't.
There we go.
Can you hear me, Charles?
Sorry.
Hello. I don't think he hears me.
Charles. I hear echo, don't you?
I can't hear it. Mr. Beer says, I have no idea what's going on. Well, nothing's really going on right now.
Let's see. Now, I don't want to smoke on your live, by the way, so.
Boston says it's about out of respect for two little girls who were walked down a hill to their torture and introduction to a monster coward, then brutalized. Respect to two little girls.
Mm-hmm. I get that, but I didn't kill those girls, and I think it's really important to show what somebody else did as an illustration. Because a lot of people that had respect for Richard Allen and supported him, I'm fine with my previous channel being removed. I own up to that. But I didn't kill those girls.
Is that why it was removed?
Yeah.
Growing Crazy says, in my honest opinion, a piece of shit doesn't care about Libby and Abby.
That's fine if you think that way. I don't get warm or cold with people that call me out. That's fine.
Call back, Charles. Try again.
But anyways, this image. Oh, do you also have the other ones? Because it should be.
Yeah, there was like two other ones, but I mean, they're basically the same thing.
Yeah, I know, but just wondering if you had them. But what do you think? Like, is there some major fault going on here? Because it's just a technical device, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think that they are complaining about the elevation that wasn't right, and then the jack plug.
But I think the elevation was spot on. I think it just has to do with the headphone port. They had an expert that said that they didn't agree with the quote unquote Google search and the fact that something might have just made its way in there, whether it was debris or water. What's up, Infinity?
I think it got turned back on, and you know what? It's just a device. It's not a physical object that works as we humans do, right? So it's just a technological device. It can have, for example, either faulty wiring, but it's just data. That's it. It doesn't necessarily prove anything. And I know they use that in court, but it can always, if you have a good expert. I have an IT degree. I used to work for ACES. We have one of the largest ACES credit RMI companies in here. I used to intern there. And there's always complaints about technical, either wiring issues, software issues. And you know what? Those can be extremely simple. And with Apple, it's the same. And the thing is, Sloof, is that they don't have the service readers that are, for example, in the factories. So they need to go either on Celebrite or any other third-party software that can read software, and it can be misinterpreted. That is their argument.
Is the interpretation of it.
Exactly.
The defense is they're just disingenuous. Lilith says, Frank, did you share the pics with anyone besides sending them to Becky?
I think I showed them briefly. Then Holman, I already had contact with Holman for a while because of from the information that I had of the distribution of the images. And he asked me kindly if I wanted to remove them. He wasn't angry or whatever, and I did. And not much people, I think only 125 people got to see them. If it's not more or less, I can't remember. But I removed it, and that was it. And I showed them I showed them with an oil filter because other creator that had them on the community page also did that. And I was the one scolded for that, so sorry.
I mean, it was in poor taste. It's not about the crime scene photos. It's just about that specific situation and Abby and Libby's case. You know what I mean? And it seemed like it was kind of like an ego trip, like I'm going to be the one to show it to Becky Patty. Like I'm going to be the big hero, the one that nobody else is willing to do what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
That is not true because I was talking with Becky way before that.
Because she was upset about it.
Logical. but I still talk to her.
Hold on, I got an email. What is this that I circled in red? There's no photo attached to that. This account says the guy who put out the murder scene. So you appear to be infamous.
That's fine.
Mental gymnastics is what Betsy's calling it, like the justification for it.
If you think that way, fine.
You think you paid your dues?
Apparently not, did I?
I told you if you call in, they're going to come at you.
You know, that is fine. It really doesn't bother me.
See, Betsy says the jurors and the people in the courtroom saw the photos. Those are the only people entitled to see them.
If you think that way, all right.
In a perfect world, right?
In a perfect world.
But isn't that what we strive for?
What was that? Sorry.
What was that?
No, I didn't hear what you were saying.
No, I was saying, isn't that what we strive for? A perfect world.
It is.
But in there's certain things that happen that prove to us that it's not a perfect world. You know, like somebody sharing crime scene photos when people have asked them not to.
I never got told not to share them because I made Becky aware beforehand.
She asked you for them?
So let me tell you this way. I shared them because it's not my family member. I didn't do it out of sadistic means or whatever. I did it because I was talking about them a long time ago, and I told them who I got it from. Was extremely honest about it. But just telling something is different than showing something.
Is that what you're talking about, Jack? So you circled this area up here. I think this is some pareidolia right here.
Isn't he wanting to see if he can see the bullet?
I don't know. Well, if this was under her leg, the bullet would have to be somewhere nearby.
That's in between, right?
Yeah.
I even with the images that I had, I couldn't even see the bullet.
Yeah, these are very clear. This account says, how dare you violate those girls again? Showing children crime scene photos. What a legacy you made for yourself. The face to one of many who don't use empathy. Sick.
Gotcha.
Let's see. Lilith. My heart hurts for Abby and Libby and their loved ones. I hate it so much that they went through what they went through that day.
I'm pretty sure you covered that video that Ausberg did, but I kind of wanted your opinion on something. Don't you think that video proves more that the timeline is correct than instead of what they are proving?
Yeah, they definitely narrowed it down.
Exactly.
To about what, 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first thought. And then, but ultimately, I believe the time is off. But either way, I mean, it's about right, you know.
What was it 2:44?
2:44.
See, and that's the thing with technology. I mean, for example, if you have your clock set 10 minutes ahead, then it gives an extremely misleading timeline as well, right?
Yeah, because that could have been taken right at like 2:30. And then as he's coming around the corner, Richard Allen sees him, scrambles, phone drops, and then it just never moves again from that point.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't making a single dime. See, for Sloof, I apologize. For the rest, not a single second, not a single scintilla.
So no burying the hatchet for Ruckus or Frankmeister?
Nope.
Yeah, you don't have to hold your tongue this account.
No, you don't.
So what else you got on your mind? I don't want to piss these guys off too much, but I did want to let you come on here.
No worries. I will leave, my man. Anyway, Sloof, thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining. All right, guys. I think we did our best to stomach that. You know, once you're a branded man, it's hard to shake it. But anybody else wants to call in, you're welcome to. We'll hang out for another 10 minutes. And then we'll get out of here. Infinity, you just attack. You are not trying to understand. Typo. Welcome in, Typo, by the way. Trial, hold on. You told Becky you were going to put them out, but you did not ask if you could or should. And that is not something anyone with common sense would ask, because everyone should know it's not proper. Trial Junkie says Brad Weber pulled into his driveway at 2:50. That's not true. That's when his phone registered as being there, 2:50. So if he's on that camera at 2:44 and that time is accurate, it doesn't take 6 minutes to get to his house. Right? So if that is accurate, he would have been on that camera at probably 2:59. Or yeah, probably about 2:50, 2:58, 2:57, not 2:44. So you can't have it both ways. You can't have it like, oh, he's home at 2:50 and then he's passing the camera at 2:44. What did he do? Go down the private drive and stop for a minute? What happened is the pinging is not accurate. It's going to register when it registers, which sounds like 2:50, and the clock, the timestamp on the security camera is wrong. It's that simple. It's not like some huge conspiracy or somebody trying to stretch the truth. That's what happened. And how do we know that? Because the phone stopped moving at 2:32. And the defense has now conceded to that. Remember, previously they said that that was false, that the girls were brought back. So you can't have it both ways. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You don't get to decide what the truth is. The facts are how they exist. The whole point of a jury is to task them with looking at the evidence. I agree with that. And do they get it wrong? Yes. Do I think they got it wrong? No, I don't think so. I think that Richard Allen wasn't defended very well, honestly. And the reasons for that, only his defense team will be able to answer. Absolutely, trial. If that's what happened, I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense, right? Cheek says, later, buddy, back to the void, fucker. Hey, I said call in if you want to. You're basically putting your head on the chopping block if that's what you want. Drunken mania. In his defense, he did not appear to be drunk tonight. Got Sees Through says, regardless what time he got home, Rick still knew there was a van driving by. I'm more concerned about why he made that the reason for crossing the creek when it likely was not, according to phone data. So this is what I'm thinking. Let's say that the timestamp is accurate. That means that they crossed the creek prior to that. So that means that crossing the creek was part of their plan to begin with, right? Let's go down this rabbit hole. The timestamp is accurate. What that means, the girls were forced to cross the creek right away. Like you're crossing the creek right away. The phone gets wet, stops moving around the 2:32. They have the girls undressed, do all this weird stuff, and then at 2:44, here comes Brad Weber, and that's when they were prompted to commit the act of murder. So in Richard Allen's story, he kind of makes it appear as if the white van triggered him to kind of scurry away, like, oh, now we got to make a run for it. Let's cross the creek and we'll hide over here. And then now I got to take your lives to keep you from talking about what I did. I think if the timestamp is accurate on that security footage near the entrance of the private drive, that tells us that Richard Allen wasn't startled, that he in fact meant to cross that creek. That's what my theory was from the beginning. If he has prior knowledge of the Delphi Monon High Bridge trails and how shallow it is right there with that sandbar, he may have thought in his mind, I can just force him right across here and then I'll escape through the cemetery. If he frequents that place, I'm assuming he's crossing that bridge all the time. He's done it many times. He's gone down the hill and maybe even attempted to cross, fold up his jeans and cross the creek right there. For all we know, he's gone back to the crime scene from the north side. There's a trail that goes right down there. Who's to say he's not completely familiar with that whole area, the south side and the north side? Trial Junkie says, didn't the prosecution say Richard saw the white van at about 2:20? I'm not sure. I believe the phone is documented as not moving. So it drops in elevation, right, as they're going down the hill. And then it continues to kind of move around, and then it stops. And I believe the moment that it stops is around 2:32. So if the timestamp on the security footage is accurate, the only thing that tells me is that Richard Allen was startled, and then that's what caused him to commit the act of murder, not cross the creek. That tells me that he was already planning to cross the creek or had already made the decision to force them across the creek. Therefore, stopping the phone at 2:32, he's doing all this weird shit. Here comes the van. He's like, oh shit, I got to get out of here. And then goes from there. James Cope says, nobody filmed the murder. What the fuck? Some people just start pulling crap out of their ass. Yeah, that's part of the Anthony shots and what could be the motivation. So there's no facts that this was documented, but in the probable cause affidavit of Ron Logan, the FBI states, this is the type of crime, and their profile is somebody that may seek to document the crime. The reason for the staging and the signatures and things like that may have been for the purpose of documenting it. And then we have to ask the question, James, why were the killers why was the killer or killers Why was Richard Allen with the girls for so long? We're talking an hour and 45 minutes from the moment they were kidnapped to the point a man who is muddy and bloody is seen near the cemetery. What would you be doing? And you didn't leave your DNA anywhere, so you're not doing any of that crap. You're redressing one of the victims, you're leaving clothes in a creek, but somehow your DNA is nowhere. What are you doing this entire time? You know, there's all these unanswered questions. No trial, but I love the sound of that. I love the sound of that. We had somebody recently in Delphi get arrested for CSAM and trading CSAM and bestiality on the dark web. His name is Norfleet. It's a prime example. Yeah, definitely, Shane, does not mean that the girls were killed right then. It just means that they were found. The phone did not move. It stopped moving at 2:32, and the girls were found on the phone. So that kind of gives you the idea that when the phone stopped moving is when the girls were that's most likely when the murder happened or when it began. Because it could have fallen down and been on the ground, and then, you know, through circumstances, Abby just ended up on top of it. Trial Junkie says the problem is the prosecution said they were dead at 2:32. I don't think that's accurate. I think the prosecution believes between 2:30 and 3:30. Now the phone data says that the phone stopped moving at 2:32. So if the phone stops moving, that and then they found it right there, covered in leaves and kind of muddy, that means that the girls aren't going to drop it. They're not just going to be like, "Oh, here, let me place my phone right here and throw a bunch of leaves on top of it." This is telling us a story. This is telling you that the phone dropped, some kind of a scuffle happened that caused these leaves to cover the phone, and then Abby's leg lays across the top of it. Those leaves didn't crawl up under her leg and wedge themselves in between the phone and her leg. Something happened. This tells us a story that it most likely began right at that point. 2:32, that's the confrontation. At the moment that they drop the phone and they're no longer interested in that phone or can no longer worry about the phone, that's when the trouble began. According to what we're seeing, right? Trial Junkie says the prosecution wanted a very tight timeline. Abby's arms were tucked in front of her. Cheeks. Look at how all the leaves are laying, almost like a body was pulled all the leaves over in one direction. Yeah, they didn't get there on their own. Either the shuffling of feet or she was pulled in that direction. Yep. If anybody's going to call in, now's your chance. This is going to be our last 5 minutes. So I'll go to just a couple more comments, and we'll be doing these open panels a lot, probably around the same time. And Charles, we'll figure it out. Right, Trial? You and me both. This account, Sleuth, do you remember the name of the YouTube channel with the song Kagan? No. I sound like a broken record, but after Down the Hill, I don't even know exactly what happened. That's why they done him for kidnapping felony. Yeah, nobody knows. It's up to Richard Allen to tell everybody what the hell happened. But he can't. Because if he implicates anybody else or confesses, he loses the only thing he cares about is his wife. He can't do this alone. He needs a connection to the outside world. That's all he's got left. Vegas says, Sleuth, I think somebody out there knows about Richard Allen and the Kleins, but they are not going to say anything because they think Richard Allen is innocent. Hey, it could be. I just don't think there's a whole lot to find. You know, Richard Allen, everything that I've gathered on him from doing my own personal investigation and the sources that I've developed tell me that he was the quietest person that they've ever met. These are 3 different people who don't know each other, have told me that he's the quietest person. He just sat there and didn't say a word. So if somehow he was friends with the Kleins or connected in some way, and then a whole lot of time goes by and then they reconnect, there should be no connection of them. But sometimes there's people, when they get together, that chemistry is extremely volatile. You know, they just can't be around each other because they'll, you know, for whatever reason, they make bad decisions and they feed off of each other. Some people just have really weird chemistry like that. Sometimes it's positive, but for bad people, it could be very bad. James says, who's the dude that called in and said he showed the crime scene photos? Well, he had a channel, another channel. I think he has a new channel on YouTube, it looked like. But I think at one point he had sent the photographs to Becky Patty and then later that day showed them on a live stream. And then because of the complaining and the complaints that were filed, his channel was taken down, I believe, from what I know. That's the way I understand it. And he upset a whole lot of people. A lot of conflict with between him and other creators. Sleuth, I really want to know if law enforcement was able to determine who identified Rick on 4chan so many years ago. Yeah, who identified Rick as being, you know, there and on the bridge? Who was on Keegan Klein's phone if it wasn't him? If Keegan Klein is in Delphi and like he confessed to being with his father and participating with a friend of his dad's, if that is true, who was on his phone? Somebody was using his phone. They said he was connected to a Wi-Fi on Paw Paw Pike. But we heard Detective Vito tell us that his phone was at home. So I don't know which is true. But either way, they've used his cell phone, his data, his, you know, phone tracking, his GPS tracking. That's his alibi. That's it. So the activity that was going on with his phone is the reason that he has not been implicated. And my question is, if it's not Richard or if it's not Keegan Klein, who is it? that's a potential witness. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's live stream. Interesting call-in. We had that strange troll. I think he's from Poland. And then we had Frank. He looks like he's coming back to YouTube. He got a dose from the Sleuth crew. And we'll continue to do these open panels. I think it's good to have open dialogue with people and to give folks a chance to call in and get that direct answer, and to be able to rebuttal and to attempt to refute and, you know, call people out on their shit. You can definitely call me out. Hey, what's up, Delulu? Everybody else that I missed, I do apologize. Everybody who caught the live stream, thank you. And my donors who continue to support my channel, members, moderators, all you subscribers, thank you so much. Couldn't do it without you. Replay crew, let me know what you thought about that photograph that we shared. We grabbed it from Turbo's. I grabbed it from her X feed. And it looks like there's a few more that I'm going to go grab here when we're done. But if you need to get a hold of me for whatever reason, hit me up at sleuthintuition@gmail.com. You guys want to support my channel in other ways, go grab some of the merch, Sleuth Crew hoodies, over there at sleuthintuition.com. Until next time, guys. Peace.